Hi there, Jamie Cunningham coming to you for SalesUp TV. In this video, we're going to look at what the three levels are of growth ceilings. Now, every business is at one of the three levels, and knowing where you are is critical to, number one, optimizing where you are, and secondly, knowing what you have to do to step up through the three levels. And we're going to put a bit of a series together that looks at how you get control and optimize each level, and then how do you step up between the levels. You know, what do you need to look at? How do you do it? What are the tips and strategies? So this one we're just going to start with, what do the models look like? Now, there's three of them, as I mentioned, three levels. First one, this sort of represents the sales capacity at each level. Bit of a rough, visualization. All right, so sales, and sales. Now, the first one is what we call, which has a cap. Well, they all have, well, the first two have a cap anyway. First one we call a driver business. Now, if you think about a driver of a car, the driver of a car is responsible for opening the door, putting the luggage in the car, starting the car, driving the car, navigating the car, booking it in for maintenance, like all that sort of stuff. The driver has to do it all. And that's like in a driver business. You may be one employee or maybe up to a team of 7, usually no more than that. That's a driver sort of business where the business really revolves around you. So here in the driver, the growth, for that business to grow, growth equals you, right? You are the salesperson, you are the marketing department, which is fine. Look, I want you to understand that each of these levels, there's no right or wrong model to have. Each of them just has pros and cons, right? At the driver level, you've got a lot of autonomy as to what you spend your time doing, to a degree. You haven't got a lot of time freedom because you have to be there to run your business. But there's a trade-off there. You know, I've seen lots of great businesses that are driver businesses, you know, some great lifestyle businesses here. But if you want a little more, we said time. Here we say time, you got control, a level of control over how you use your time. So next one up is a pilot. Now, if you think about a pilot, right, a pilot is still there flying the plane. They're the one at the controls, but they've also got a co-pilot. They've got a navigator. They've got a ground crew. They've got maintenance people. They've got crew back there serving the customers. They've got people on the ticketing booth. So they've got people around them to help support them of what they've got to do. So a lot of these people will do things that the driver has to do for themselves. And subsequently, a plane can carry a lot more people and can go a lot faster versus a car. A car can only carry so many, can only go at a certain amount of speed. So at the pilot, the growth, right, growth equals you plus others. So here, you may have other salespeople on your team, but you are probably still the sales leader, the sales manager. Or maybe you've got someone else doing that, but you're involved in other key roles where you need to be there. Now, you do have more control over your time or more time freedom, but you're still not completely time free. So here you've got time leverage. You know, if we talk about how long you can get away from the business, you know, at the pilot stage, you might be able to get away for up to a month, right? But anything beyond that, and you know, you're starting to get a bit nervous, and you're probably checking emails during that time as well. You know, there's always exceptions, but generally that's kind of the case. At the driver level, maybe a week or two, but you're probably definitely checking emails in that time. Again, there are exceptions, and I've seen exceptions, but we're talking generalities. Now, the last one is the owner. And think about this like the owner of the airline, right? The owner does not need to be there for their business to run. And so therefore growth just equals others. You've got other people in key positions, you know, president, CEO, general manager, whatever you want to call it, marketing, finance, sales. You've got that team around you, and you're sort of acting like the chair of the board, the mentor, the overseer. You might be still help setting strategic direction. You're looking at dashboard and financials, but you're not involved with day-to-day at all. And here we have complete time freedom. Now, a lot of people say this is the holy grail of what we want to get to, and Look, I'm not going to say that's not good. Of course it is. There's lots of pros of being at this level. It doesn't mean that you're free of obligation though. You're still engaged in your business. And you can, each of these models, you can still have awesome businesses at any model. But the thing to understand is some other considerations here. And firstly is value, right? The value of these businesses is obviously multiple times. You know, a driver business, there's usually not a whole lot of value there because the business is you. Yeah, again, there are exceptions. The pilot business, you can create a very valuable business as a pilot. As an owner, you can create a massively valuable business as an owner. Now, a key point to understand, and this is what we're going to dive into in the following videos, is that each of these models, each of these levels, has a control point. Now, a control point is all about control. Control point is all about, you can't get to a level of optimizing any of these stages unless you get some basics in place, some of the fundamentals. If you go past the control point in terms of sales volume and you don't have control, high levels of stress ensue. And likewise below the control point, and if you think about sales can go up to a certain control point, if you get up to this level here and you don't have certain things in place, you're going to be quite stressed and overwhelmed. So this is the point where we don't want to go beyond before we get certain things in place. And you can certainly do that, you know, at a lower level, but you know, down at a level below that, there's not much point working on some of the fundamentals until you've got a certain level of sales volume. So the control point is really important to be able to optimize a level and stay in a feeling of control. There's also, you know, you could go slightly over that level, but you start to get into the red zone. You know, once you start getting into this red zone, you really got to think about jumping up to the next level. So look, that's it. We're going to dive into the specifics of what makes up those control points, like what are the things you have to work on in the following videos, and then what have you got to do to step up to each of the next levels. What are the key things we have to work on there. So stay tuned, check out the other videos. Jamie Cunningham signing off.